And we're back. We're doing it again. What are we doing this time? We are doing the 3A Central. Yes, so we're going to have some interesting stuff going on this one. Like always, some of us might be plagued for the rest of our lives, and others might be embraced as legends in the making. So, who do we got coming on? Since this is one of the varsity breakouts. And by the way, I'm Chris. I got my Mr. Rodney in the middle here, as well as Daniel coming in. So Rodney's from Game Time Recruiting, as well as my man Daniel is from Varsity Breakdown. And since you are a part of that Pinal County, I'm going to let you go ahead and go over the 3A Central.
All right. So in that 3A Central, of course, we got ALA Ironwood went 6-4 last year, 3-1 in the region. You got the Coolidge Bears who went 5-5, 2-2 in the region. Crismon, the newest addition to that 3A Central last year, went 0-10, 0-4 in the region. And then you got the reigning 3A Central champions, which is the Florence Gophers, who went 8-2, 4-0 in the region. And lastly, Santan Foothills, who went 3-7 and 1-3 in the region. And the 3A Central was able to have two teams make it to the playoffs. As you can see, ALA Ironwood and Florence both made it. And the way things look, it could be something similar like that going into this year.
And like always, what we do is we cross reference where Max Preps currently has these teams coming into the season. So Max Preps has ALA Ironwood coming in at 104. They have Coolidge coming in at 107, Crismon 168, Florence 89th, and Santan Foothills at 149. And that is how we got them coming in. And we're just going to kind of see and compare what we think on the rankings on how you would pretty much see the schedules compared to what Push Ridge would, I mean, not Push Ridge, but Max Preps would have them set up as, and see how that goes. So we're going to get started here, and we always roll in just like this, where we get to see the charts over here on our right hand side or left side. I don't know how we're looking at it. And we just go down it, pretty much go and say, okay, we agree with what Max Preps is saying, or we think they're going to do a little bit better or a little bit worse. So we'll start off this one. Who wants to take this one first?
You know what? Let me take it since I live right down the street from them. You
Yes,
know?
sir.
Go ahead.
Hey, so we have ALA Ironwood coming in. Max Preps have them ranked 104. Again, their first two games are away. So it's at Morenci, who's ranked 57, and at Douglas, who's ranked 136. And then the following week is our first home game. It's on a Thursday where they play Gilbert Christian, where they are ranked 105. And then they got to go away to Sierra Linda, who's ranked 141. And then their next two games is going to be against Coolidge, who is ranked 107, and Benjamin Franklin, who's ranked 93rd. And then they have a away game right before their bye week, which Crismon is ranked 168th. Then they have a bye week, and then they're going to end their last three games with Tempe being ranked 152, at Santan Foothills, which is 149, and then Florence, which is ranked 89th. So, what are they going to do? Oh, boy.
So, as we look at Max Preps got them going 7-3. Where do you guys have them? I'll tell them, I'll say this. I have them at 7-3 as well. The losses coming to them by Gilbert Christian, also Benjamin Franklin, and Florence are the three that I have them losing to. The rest, obviously, the 7 will be wins. Where do you guys see them at?
I got them going 8-2 this year with their losses coming against Ben Franklin and Florence. I think this year, going into what they got returning, it could be more. This is probably going to be one of their best seasons they've had in their school's short history. So coming down to it, I just think, how they did against Ben Franklin last year, it was 49-7. So that's why I'm giving Ben Franklin the edge there. And then, of course, Florence being the reigning champions, I always feel you got to beat the champs in order to beat the champs. So I got Florence still having the edge there. So I got them going 8-2.
Rodney?
Perfect. So I have them going 6-4. And again, I know that they have like guys coming back, right? So I know they have their quarterback, Jed Brewster, right, who's coming back. I know that they have their two leading rushers, in Aiden Williams and their quarterback again, Big Jet. And I know that they, in the receiving game, they lost their number one receiver, which is Gabe Cantor. But they do have the other two coming back, which is Hudson and Marcus, or maybe Marquise. Marcus or Marquise. Don't quote me on it. So I do apologize. But they do have their leading tacklers on defense with, again, Marquise Dorsey, Mr. Dorsey, and Malachi Gomez. Now, I have them going 6-4, and again, I know I'm gonna get some heat from it. I have them losing at Morenci, which I know they lost last year. A very close game, 6-0. I have them losing against Gilbert Christian, which again last year they lost 23-10, and then obviously Benjamin Franklin and Florence. So I think I have them going the worst as far as 6-4. But again, they do have a good supporting cast coming back. So they could prove me wrong. So I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Right. Yeah, and I think for me, if you go into that their playoff game, it was the first time they made the playoffs last year in school history. So they ended up losing to Valley Christian 24-21, and they led a majority of that game. I think it was at the tail end where Valley Christian ended up getting a late touchdown and kind of sealed the win for them. But like you said, they got a lot coming back to where I think that they have to be a heavy favorite to be considered region champions in this 3A Central.
Oh boy, here we go.
All right, so let's run on to the next one, which is going to be Coolidge, right there, hometown for Mr. Chandler. Who else to take over it? Go for it.
There we go. So we got the Coolidge Bears coming in at 107. They're going to start things off against the defending 3A champions. They're at Sabino, who's ranked 37th. Then they'll have two more road games at Benjamin Franklin, who's 93, at Santa Cruz Valley, who's 109. Then they'll be having their first home game against Combs, who's 143, back on the road at ALA Ironwood, who's 104, and then three straight home games against Florence, who's 89, La Jolla Community, 157, Tan Foothills, which is a Thursday night game, who's 149. Then they're at Push Ridge, who's 74, and after their bye, they will be on the road at Crismon, who's 168. And Max Preps got them going 5-5 this year, which is the same record that they had last year. Do you guys agree with that?
You know what? I'm gonna go real quick. I think they have it right. Chris is mean because he has them going 2-8.
I could have told people that. Thanks a lot.
It's okay. I want to jump to it. I mean, again, I think myself and Daniel, we kind of agree like that 5-5 record. I believe they're losing a lot. Okay, I'll be honest with you. They're losing like their quarterback, their top three receivers. I think the only
cleaning house.
Then they have a new coach, and so I think this is a rebuilding year. Now, give a shout out to Maurice Glass. I know that he's their top running back and linebacker that's coming back. But besides that, we just don't know. So I got them going 5-5, losing to Sabino, Benjamin Franklin, ALA Ironwood, Florence, and Push Ridge. So that's my take on it.
What about you, Daniel?
So for me, I have them going 5-5 as well. I think, like Chris said, you got Carlo Hernandez returning back to Coolidge as a head coach, originally coming from Sholo. I just think that he hit the nail on the head. It is a rebuilding year for Coolidge. No, one actually returning starter on both the offense and defensive side of the ball. So some fresh faces that are going to be on that team. For me, I think their losses are going to come against Benjamin Franklin, ALA Ironwood, Florence, Push Ridge, and then I also have them losing to a 2A team in the Santa Cruz Valley Dust Devils, which is a big rivalry there in Pinal County. I just think that with the experience of Santa Cruz Valley, they're going to be tough to beat this year, not only in 2A, but competing against a couple of 3A teams as well. The only flip side, I think, from Rodney is I do I could be wrong on this one, but I do have them having an opening game win against Sabino. And that's just because both teams are coming in with clean slates, new players, and I think it's just going to be a real competitive game. I just got to give the edge to my alma mater on that one.
You know what? I'm looking even more evil than I thought I was, man. I mean, and guys, I love me some Coolidge. Don't get me wrong. Ever since Daniel's introduced me to it, love the Goose, all these other places. But I'm looking up at it, and I might have a typo here, guys. I mean, I see that I got 2 and 8, but if I'm looking up at the roster, I only have 1 and 9.
Oh,
even worse.
I have La Jolla Community being the only win. Coolidge walks away on this one. Like you guys have said, they're definitely cleaning house. I think it was a big blow on how many kids are gone out of this group, and I think Max Preps was being nice in my opinion at 5 and 5, which you guys both agree with that. But unfortunately, I mean, maybe I'm seeing something different, which maybe like Crismon and Tan Foothills might be happy with me. But I mean, unfortunately, like.
And those are going to be 3 good games. Don't get me wrong.
And guys, honestly,
competitive this year.
And let's be honest. Like, I mean, that's the great part about like even us doing this show, where we actually get to discover some of these teams and be completely wrong. And that's what's great about this. So, yeah, I mean, I was just looking at it and I was like, wait, who's the? Which I was.
If I throw one. And if I throw one more team out there for you, Chris, the Combs game, they're a team that was plagued by injuries last year, and their season kind of got devoured because of it. But how much experience do they got coming back? And I can see why you would pick them as well. It's just
I mean, you look at like there was a lot of close games for them last season, and then losing obviously all that they have. You got even like teams like Santa Cruz Valley, that's a tough game that they like to play, and Daniel, that it's a solid game. There's a lot of. It's interesting how Coolidge has so many rivals. It's like, it's almost like
and because you do Florence, you got Santa Cruz Valley. Then at one time before they switched districts, Santan Foothills used to be a part of the Coolidge school district, so that turned into a little rivalry itself. So
I mean, look, guys, maybe Rodney and Daniel are right with their 5 and 5. I'm coming in with a 1 and 9, which I'm going to even have a typo here at the end. But yeah, I'll have to get that adjusted.
Well,
sorry, guys.
I don't know if you're going to be invited to the Goose this year, but
no, I'm probably not. And not only that, what's going to happen too is that I mean. Use this as an incentive from my angle, I guess. That's what I'll say. Go prove me wrong, guys. That's all I'm saying.
or prove us right. Yeah. Whichever way.
Don't prove me right. Go prove me wrong. Rodney, we're gonna come into Crismon. I know this is another school that I don't know how the heck you live right in the middle of all these.
Listen, I literally look at literally I'm looking outside my window. I see Crismon right now. Like literally, I'm right there. So Crismon comes in at ranked 168th. Listen, first game is away, which is going to be a tough battle at Benjamin Franklin. Again, Benjamin Franklin is ranked 93rd. Then they got 4 home games. Thatcher ranked 58. Sabino ranked 37. Gila Ridge ranked 177, and then Gilbert Christian ranked 105. So then that's a nice stretch of having some home games to help this season. Then their next away game is going to be at Winslow, which is ranked 146, and then they have a home game which is literally right down the street at ALA Ironwood, which ALA Ironwood is ranked 104 before their bye. Then after their bye, they'll go a little bit south to Santan Foothills, which is ranked 149, and then they got to go to Florence, and then their last home game is going to be Coolidge at 107. Again, Max Preps has them Crismon going 1 and 9, and I'm gonna tell you right now, Chris, let's start with you.
You're gonna start with me? Okay.
Yeah, come on, let's start with you.
Cool. I'm the one bouncing around on all these screens here.
Wait, listen, but you got them doing the best out of us 3.
You know what? So. I do. Me, I know that Crismon and I know Daniel will probably throw out a whole bunch of names here. I know they have a lot of kids returning. Actually, I don't think they have anybody not returning. And so I feel like it's kind of like they've grown and they're growing together. They got the chemistry going. I mean,
Mhm.
I know Max Prep's got them at 1-9. I personally feel that this is going to be a year where they at least shine a little bit better, coming into to the rights of their past. I got them at 4-6 with wins going over Gila Ridge, Winslow, also Tan Foothills, and Coolidge. Those are my 4 wins.
Yeah.
I know you guys might not agree with me. I know you might not agree with me, but hey.
Go ahead,
Listen,
Rodney.
man, last year was rough. Okay, let's just be honest. They went 0-10. Okay,
Mhm.
and just like what you said, Chris, they literally all their guys are coming back. So this is like a little bit of growing pains.
Right.
But man, I mean, winning 2 games is still a positive, right? Than last year. I know they have a new coach because I believe Corbin Smith, the coach from last year, isn't there no more. So again, now you got a different coach. But again, I think the biggest thing is that all the guys have came back. Hopefully they didn't transfer because that does happen. But right now, I have their wins going are coming against Gila Ridge and Tan Foothills. So I got them going 2-8.
Wait. Hold on. Coming from our headquarters. I'm just joking.
wait, hold on, wait.
Pulling a Rodney.
Wait.
We have kids transferring into.
Wait, we have kids transferring to Crismon. Wait, they're going away from Crismon.
Throw it in, guys. Sorry. Go ahead, Daniel.
Oh no! So for me, I'm in the same boat as Rodney. Got them going 2-8 wins coming against Gila Ridge and Tan Foothills. But I mean, like you guys have been saying, this is a team that has another year under their belt. I don't think it's going to be that drastic of an improvement, just because if you look at the numbers, they have the toughest schedule in this 3A Central. And, some of the teams that they got to go against, I don't think it's going to really pan out for them too well. But at the same time, the experience is there. I mean, you got Diesel Robinson. He's a dual threat quarterback coming back. Dominic Nix, who is their leading rusher. And he still has Diesel Robinson still has both of his targets, actually all 3 targets coming back at wide receiver, who are going to just help this team grow on offense. I think if you're going to have them utilize anything or improve anywhere, it's going to have to be on the defensive end. They were shut out by 40 plus points in almost, I want to say 4 games last year. So you definitely got to be able to clean it up on the defensive end if you want to be competitive, especially with some of the high powered offenses that they're going to play this year. And so in order to do that, you got to clean that area up first. But I think on the offensive end, you're going to see them put up a little bit more points. It's just unfortunate that they have this tough of a schedule. So 2 wins in my book on that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey.
I mean, can't even say anymore. It's like, hey guys, fix it up on the defense. Let's go. Let's make it happen, man. I'm telling you guys, I got you. I'm rooting for you. I'm the 4-6 guy. All right.
Listen.
2-8.
Coolidge don't like me. Coolidge don't like me. Come on, Crismon. Anyways, let's go into the team that did it all last year, Florence. And you know what? Who did the last one?
I did.
Yeah, I'll pop in on this one.
Go ahead.
All right. So Florence Gophers coming in ranked 89th. They're going to start off at Gilbert Christian, who's 105. Then they get another rematch game. I know last year they played this game up at NAU, but they'll be hosting Valley Christian this year, who's ranked 51. Then they're at Safford, who's 86. Home against Tan Foothills, who's 149, and Rio Rico, which is a Thursday night game, who's 158. Then they got back-to-back road games at Coolidge, who's 107, at Borgade Catholic, who's 204. Then coming out of the bye, they're home for 2 out of the remaining 3 games. They'll be home against Ben Franklin, who's 93, home against Crismon, who's 168, and finish up for what should be the game for the 3A Central Championship. It'll be at ALA Ironwood this year, who's 104. So kind of on the looks of it, Max Preps has them going 8-2, but we all are pretty much in agreement that the Gophers can go 9-1 this year.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
But But we do have a couple of different, as far as their losses are concerned. Rodney, you and I have them losing to Valley Christian, while Chris has them losing to Ben Franklin.
Yeah.
So what are you guys' thoughts on those?
I mean, I think Benjamin Franklin is just solid coming back this year. I like what they're doing. It seems to be the trend in this region. Actually, they're going to have their way with this region. It seems like it as we kind of look at how many games they're playing from this region of their non-conference games. So I'm in with Ben Franklin. Fly that kite, baby. Let's go.
Did you really say fly the kite? Okay, fly the kite.
Fly the kite, get electric. Let's go. Get electric.
Listen. Florence has a lot of guys coming back. They only lost 2 guys from last year. One, excuse me, being their running back / DB, Josh Jackson, like him a lot, but also Michael Martling as well, who was their second tackler. But they have a quarterback coming back in Logan Stinson, and his rushers, top 2 rushers, which was Logan Stinson and Malik Smith. And then he has all of his receivers coming back. And Darren Swain, Aiden Lee, and then again, Wyatt Stinson. Maybe that's a correlation. Maybe they could be brothers. Just
They're
saying.
brothers. Yep.
Listen, let's go. All right. Again, they have their their tacklers coming back. 2 out of 3 in Zayden Cundiff, and then Joseph. And if I mess up your name, sir, I am sorry. I'm just gonna say Joseph W. All right. So again, with Florence, they just have a nice nucleus coming back. But again, what do I have? I have them losing against Valley Christian, but that game against Benjamin Franklin, that's going to be a good game. I think that's going to be a good game. Which last year, I mean, they lost. Florence lost 10-7. Again, I can see that type of game. 14-7 type of game. But hey, we all got them going 9-1. So hey, that's good.
Anything different coming from you, Daniel?
Oh, I mean, if you look at both of their losses, they're less than a touchdown, so they were in both games. I think in order, what I want to see for Florence this year is they have I believe the easiest schedule in this 3A Central, but given that, that they're going to make the playoffs. I have no doubt about that, just because of what they've done the past 2 years. They always can replug guys in. They have a real good system down there in Florence, where all these kids that are coming up from junior high or playing on JV, they could plug them in and they make an impact. The one thing I want to see from them is, I think it's time to take that next step. The past 2 years they made the playoffs. They've been taken out in the first round, and I think if you want to be considered one of those elite teams, you need to be able to go far in the playoffs. They have the team to do it this year. But you know what? I think that's the one thing I want to see from them, is they got to make that next jump in order for me to consider them real contenders this year.
That's fair. That's valid. I'd agree with that. What do you think, Rodney? Agree?
No, again, that's valid. If you want to be a dog, you gotta, when you get into the playoffs. And again, we know that they played against Stature, and I think the score was like 37-10, something like that. So again, if you want to be like that top premier, there we go, something like that. Thank you. So if you want to be that top dog in the 3A, hey, you gotta play against those top teams like the Thatchers, out there. So hey, listen, the season's here. It's coming.
I got you.
Let's get it.
And finishing it up, I'm going to let you finish it up because you're just dropping wisdom on us here, Rodney. So go ahead and drop it.
Santan Foothills is right down the street from me. All right. So Santan Foothills, listen, I'm literally in the middle of it's hilarious. So Santan Foothills, Max Preps got them coming in at 149. They get first game, or the first 3 games is a home game. So Dysart ranked 129th. Tempe ranked 152. Then they have Santan Charter ranked 95th. Their next 3 games are going to be away at Florence, which they're ranked 89, at Apache Junction ranked 121, and then at Push Red. They got to go to Tucson out there, and they're ranked 74 before their bye week. Then they got another away game at Coolidge, which is a Thursday game, which Coolidge is ranked 107. And then their next 2 games are going to be home, with Crismon being ranked 168 and ALA Ironwood being ranked 104. And then their last game is away, playing against Borgatti Catholic. Did I say that right? Borgatti?
I always pronounce it Bourgade, but
It is tomatoes.
You know what? Borgade, Borgatti, Bugatti.
I don't think it's Bugatti.
But yeah, so Max Preps has them going 3-7. I'm gonna tell you for myself. Actually, Chris got them. Chris, listen, what are these records?
preach it, Chris. Preach it.
Preach it. Come on.
Once again, I think this is what's going on. They got a bunch of kids coming back, as Daniel always does. He goes over the names as well as Rodney does on some of these guys that are returning. Me personally, I know that Max Preps got him at 3-7. I got him at 5-5. Once again, this is where the wins are picked up at. Was from Coolidge on some of these games as well as some of these other guys. Not necessarily so much in the region for this one as much, but I mean, they also have a weaker schedule coming into it with Dizer, Tempe, and also Santan Charter. I feel have lost a lot, so I think they start off real strong. And on this, guys, this is where you can throw my ideas and thoughts out the window real quick. If you guys don't start off 3 strong, then that's where I was wrong. That's it.
So Dysart, Tempe, and Santan Charter.
Yeah, those are my first 3. Boom, right out the gate.
Okay.
All right.
Come on, son.
For me, I got them going 1-9 this year. It's a little bit of a dip from last year. I just feel that their schedule, even though it's the same one, they have teams there that are consistently improved. But for Tan Foothills, what I have yet to see from them is consistency. 2 years ago, they made it to the playoffs, but prior to that, they had barely even won a few games before that. And I see themselves just kind of heading into that same trend this year. And it's just because of where they're located. I mean, Rodney talked about how many teams are located right there in the Santan Valley area. And so you're going to get players pulled left and right to different schools, especially for programs that are already established.
Right.
But if you look at who they have coming back, I mean, Dalton Norman at quarterback, he's been the quarterback for, I believe, the last 2 or 3 years since probably almost his freshman year. They're losing Colton Hoffman, who is their leading rusher and also their leading tackler. Then they're losing their top 2 wide receivers in Cohen Scott and Colton Hoffman as well. But this is a team that the thing I think that hurts them so much is the amount of depth that they have on this roster. They're very limited on who they're plugging in, and a lot of these kids play on both sides of the ball. So I think that's where you see them kind of later on in the games kind of get fatigued and are not able to really compete as some of these other teams on the list. So I think only Bourgade this year, and we'll see what happens. I mean, I always love going out to that stadium and watching them play because they're the community is so supportive. It's just now, you got to produce on the field. It's just this year it's going to be a lot tougher with this schedule.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to piggyback off of you, Daniel. Is again, I have them just going 1-9 with them beating Bourgade Catholic. And I know my buddy, who's one of the volleyball coach over there, is going to probably text me and just be mad at me, but it is what it is. Just like what you said, I mean, just around here, you have so many schools that they can choose from. It's tough. It's tough. I mean, a good thing is that they do have people coming back, which could bite me and you, in the behind. But like even last year, right? Like I'm looking at their scores, like they got to pick it up on defense. Too many times, like they're just getting scored on a lot. I kind of feel like I want to change my pick, but I'm not. I feel like Tempe
to the dark side.
I'm not. I'm gonna keep it at 1-9, but I feel like Tempe is that one's gonna bite me in the butt. I kind of feel it. I know Coach Freeman over there, and I know he's probably gonna get mad at me too. But I'm gonna leave it. Check that. No, I'm sorry. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it as a loss. I'm sorry. Coach Freeman would be happy that I said that. That's at Tempe, but it's gonna be a tough year. 1-9, Tan Foothills. I'm sorry. Love you guys.
And he's only gonna love it because he's gonna use it as motivation for his players.
Motivation. Let's go.
So here's a different thing that we're throwing in today. We're actually going over the results. So here you have it. I know that mine's off a little bit there for the Coolidge one, but you can sit there and see what we've been talking about. You can see that, Max Preps has them going 7-3, 5-5, 1-9, 8-2, 3-7 down the list. And that's, once again, it's based off of what teams are actually ranked coming into the season from last season's rankings. So you can see how a lot of these games, as we're looking at them, we got them a lot looking different on some of these places. So it's going to be interesting to see. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, again, for you and I, Chris, this is something new to us, as far as, with these teams. But it's cool to kind of like look at like the guys that are coming back, like from Florence, right? Because they only lost 2 guys, and just seeing like the growth where even at like Crismon, they have guys coming back. So I'm excited to go check them out again under a new coaching staff. Again, it's football, so I love it.
And I like how it all meshes kind of with the 3A South that we're going to be talking about too as well. So it's kind of interesting how these 2 divisions, or actually regions, are kind of neighbors, and you can see the crossovers here and there. So it's always good for us to kind of know our neighbor. So I mean, I think it's great. I mean, and it's funny because half these teams, obviously, like Rodney said, live around him, and so it's good for him to start learning who they are because he lives dead smack in the middle of them.
Smack down middle of them, right?
But anything else, you guys?
Yes.
What?
I'm gonna beat Daniel in NCAA college football.
There we go. Hey, it's prepped, ready to go. Sending you the gamer tag when we get out of here.
And you know what? We're gonna figure out how we can stream some of these games, and we're gonna be posting up these games. And I think from what Rodney's been saying is he's gonna throw out the gauntlet online to some of our athletes to do interviews with them while they play NCAA with them.
Hey, we in there. Listen,
we're getting it.
We getting it. And listen, anytime I win, I get to pie the kid in the face. Whipped cream and
what about if they beat you though?
Yo,
they get a game time apparel, game time shirt.
No. Rodney's got to sit with a cardboard box, like paper, like thing, in front of their school and say, "I couldn't beat this kid in NCAA."
For like 30 minutes.
Boom.
It's hot outside, bro.
Before, like, as school start, like as the kids are coming in, he got to sit there with be like, "I couldn't beat John or Joey, whoever the heck." That's what I think. Yeah, exactly. You don't hold that up because I'm gonna screenshot that, and I got 1,000 things I'm gonna put on it.
No, stop it. Get out of here. But no, that's it. We're good. We're good.
All right, that's another wrap. Next one. What's the next one we're doing? 3A. Go ahead.
3A
South. 3A South. It's gonna be a good one.
Yeah. So y'all sit tight. We'll be doing this real soon. So hang out. And also remember, guys, make sure you like, subscribe, follow us on the page, share it with people, get this out here, and also put a comment on our YouTube channel and let us know what you guys are thinking, or wherever you see our posts. Let us know what you guys are thinking about what we're doing. If you like it, if you think it's fun, and give us a hard time if you don't like our picks as well.
Yeah, most definitely. Because I know the 3A South, it's gonna be fun.
All right. All right, we'll see you guys. Be good.